What is up, everybody? We are back for another episode of PCC. You know the drill. What happened last week in college? What's coming up in college? What happened last week in the pros? What's coming up in the pros? And our picks for the week for the competition.
That's how we do.
High stakes. So let's get right into it, baby. College last week. Let's start with the Red River rivalry, Texas, Oklahoma. I mean, such a one-sided game.
Yeah. Yeah. Really just nasty. I mean, that kind of rivalry, like, runs back years and years and years and years. You cannot perform that way. Like, I'm sorry. And I know we both picked Texas, and we both kind of expected a comfortable win for them. But to win by 31 points and Oklahoma only scoring 3 points, that's horrible. You can't do that in a game like that. Like, that's brutal. I feel bad for the Oklahoma fans because, I mean, that's their game. That's their Super Bowl, like, every year. And, yeah, they just did not perform.
Nah, you gotta, even if you lose, you gotta give a better effort than that.
Yeah.
That's really tough, man. I like as a fan, uh,
Yeah. Lose by
I've been through it
30.
with Penn State plenty of times. Let me tell you, and it really destroys you when something like that happens.
It does.
It's really tough.
Yeah, and I've been there with LSU. You know how many times Bama did that to us? But
Yeah,
I digress.
yeah. But I mean, and Quinn Ewers didn't even have his best game, his first game back, and they just still absolutely dominated. Their defense is kind of scary. It's better than I thought it was going to be.
Well, yeah,
I
I
think
did.
they rank tops in both points and yards allowed, maybe.
Oh, really? I didn't know
They're
that.
up there at least.
All I know is I did not expect Oklahoma to leave with 3 points, and I mean that's a testament to Texas defense. But yeah,
Yeah,
they definitely looked like they
crazy.
belonged in a different league. So
No, yeah, it was not even a competition, honestly. Texas owned that game from the first whistle. That was that. Maybe even from the coin toss before that first whistle, honestly. Um, but anyways, I think that's enough on that one. Texas dominated. Let's
mhm.
move on to the 2v3 game, Ohio State Oregon. And let me tell you, I could not be more pleased that both of us were wrong and the
Yes,
result of that game.
yep,
Ohio State losing was just the icing on the cake to a fantastic weekend of college football. It
yep,
was amazing.
yeah. As a Penn Stater, my gosh, what more could you ask for?
Nothing. Literally nothing.
Yeah, I mean, two really good schools, and it showed. It was a dogfight. Full disclosure, Ole Miss LSU was on at the same time, so I mostly watched that game. But what I did see in the Ohio State Oregon game was two really good teams duking it out, and somebody had to come out on top.
Yeah. I mean, 32-31 finish
Yeah,
and really close at the end there. I mean, Ohio State definitely had a chance. They were in pretty good position. Then Jeremiah Smith got his offensive pass interference for pushing off. I think that was a good call and the right call. Um, Backed him up. Will Howard decided to run, and he probably could have slid a little bit earlier. But I mean, that's really tough to gauge in the moment. So tough to put that on him. But I mean, watching that end because time ran out as he was trying to run and get in field goal position was awesome.
yeah,
I love being so close yet so far and taking an L.
yeah.
So
Those
it
were
was a
definitely
beautiful thing.
slow seconds for you, though. Watching.
Oh, I was worried.
Yeah.
Don't you get me wrong. I was worried.
Yeah, that is
Uh,
fun though. Not only do they lose, but heartbreaking. Heartbreaking loss. So yeah.
like I said, could not have asked for better, man.
It's happy
Like
in
it
Happy
was
Valley right now.
damn straight, baby. It is happy in Happy Valley. But before we get to Penn State, let's talk about your boys, the LSU
Yeah,
Tigers.
that was awesome, dude. We both picked them. Kind of surprising. Because even me, that was tough for me to pick them. And I mean, they didn't disappoint. So I'm really glad I did. Imagine you picking my team and I don't, and then you were right. that would not sit well. But yeah, they looked good, and Ole Miss is no joke. They're a good team, and they got a really good coach, and their offense is crazy. I mean, their quarterback's been playing really well. But I do want to segue here a little bit to Brian Kelly, because I roast this man constantly. And what I will say is I really like an overtime, already held them to 3, and you just go for the touchdown off rip. Like, I thought that was really cool, because I expected just classic LSU, like, we're just going to kind of muddle our way the 20 yards and then get on the 5 and then try and throw it 3 straight times and then have a 4th down where I'm literally pulling my hair out. But instead, they get the ball and he goes to the end zone on the first play and worked out. But yeah, really exciting game, a lot of fun, and an even better ending.
Yeah, no, I agree. You summed it up pretty well there. I mean, better ending. That's from an LSU's fans perspective.
Yeah.
Exciting ending is how I would describe it personally
was
as
exciting.
a neutral there. Yeah. I mean, but you're right. I mean, first play, Tutty, that was one way to end that game right there.
Oh my gosh.
It was ballsy.
Dude, as an Eagle fan,
I can appreciate it.
and LSU fan, and how this season has gone for both of them, do you know how relieved I was to not have to stress that whole drive? And it was just, boom, done, game over. Oh, it was so nice. I couldn't tell you the last time I felt something like that. It's crazy.
I know your teams aren't great at giving you stress-free weekends.
No. Yeah, they're winning clubs, and like typically, I mean, they're one of the better teams in their respected leagues, but how we get there is cardiac style.
No, they're actively taking years off your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Give it like another
100%.
year. You're going to see a lot more grays. A lot more grays.
I believe it. A little salt and pepper action.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, let's go to Penn State, right? Got to talk about them a little bit. Penn State, USC. You talk about being stressed.
Yeah. That one
I was stressed.
I was stressed
Down.
for you, but that was...
Ooh, that first half was not good.
No.
Down 20-6.
Yeah, I thought you were done. So credit
Oh.
to Penn State. I thought you were done.
Well, yeah, no, that's the thing. That's the silver lining here, is that Penn State,
They got
and
some
James
fight.
Franklin specifically, they would have lost this game in many years past. They would have.
Okay. So
But for the
some
first
improvement.
time, they went out and struggled in the first half against a good team and actually came back and beat that team.
Yeah.
Like, that just hasn't happened really in the Franklin era. So that
Although,
was really great.
Not to piss on your flowers, but that could be more telling about USC.
It could be, but you know what? I was going to make the point. I don't know if I fully agree, because I was going to make the point. I know what the record is, but I think that they're better than the record indicates. I mean, just a few weeks ago, they were like the number 11 team or something like that. So,
yeah.
I mean, like they're a pretty solid team.
Hey, they beat
regardless,
LSU.
but-
So
Exactly. I mean, what's that say about LSU?
it says a lot. We'll drop a link for the first episode of Palm City Chucks. Give her a listen. I was not happy
Yeah.
about that game.
Oh, I remember quite clearly. It was a fun time.
God,
Fun
week
conversation.
ones, dude. Week ones for LSU. They're terrible.
But anyways, like I said, like down 20-6 at half, coming back, winning that 33-30 in overtime. Beautiful. Absolutely just gorgeous. I mean, showed grit. Tyler Warren, 17 catches for 224 yards and a touchdown.
It's gross.
Are you kidding me? As a tight end, 17 for 224? That is absurd. He's balling out. He is balling out. So he's going to be in the conversation for some awards at the end of the year. Honestly,
Is
best
he
tight
senior?
end in the. I think so.
Cool.
So. Could be wrong.
Wonder where
but
he goes
best,
in April.
I agree. I mean, I don't know if he had much draft stock before this year, but
Yeah.
he's
Well, this
certainly
yeah.
got it now.
You have a game, one singular game like the game he just had that you're already going to get eyes on you. So
Yep,
at the very least, he will
exactly.
get invites.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But anyways, let's talk about the fallout about that a little bit. We got Penn State moving up to the number 3 spot in the
yeah,
rankings. Oregon at 2, and Ohio State falling behind to number 4. I mean, I'm pretty happy seeing that. I kind of love that, to be honest. I love the aesthetic of that.
dude.
Penn State 3, Ohio State 4.
How about the Big Ten rocking the
I
top
know.
5 pretty much? My gosh.
Yeah, we are killing it right now. Now, what
Yeah.
can I say?
So do you
It's
do you
it's
agree with that? That Penn State should be there? Do you think they are the third best team in the nation?
I mean,
Have to ask. I have my
here's the reality.
doubts. I gotta ask you.
We talked about this a little bit in a past episode where I think all of their moves have made a lot of sense based on where they started in the rankings. The jump to 7 to 4
That
was
is a
maybe a
key
bit
part
aggressive.
of it, though,
Yeah.
because and I think this is what we talked about, but how I felt they shouldn't have been that high to start.
Well, I think they should have been that high to start personally.
Okay.
I do think that that was fair. But anyways, like I was saying, this jump to 7 to 4 was maybe a bit big. Probably should have been 5 or 6. So maybe it's still a spot or two high, but I think we're right around there. I
Yeah.
really do.
I just
Um,
it's not that I'm not impressed by like the wins you have, but I'm just not overly impressed by them. Like you haven't beaten a top dog. Like you have some
yeah.
good wins. Like Illinois is good, USC's good, but I think that's it.
At the same time, you could then make who has Ohio State beaten, and
That's
they
fair.
lost to the good team that
And
they
they
played.
lost to the yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
fair. But this is also Ohio State, not Penn State.
yeah, I mean they paid $20 million for their roster. I get it, which is hilarious. They do that and lose. You
Yeah.
should never lose paying $20 million for your roster in college. Are you kidding me? Come on, Ryan Day. What are you doing over there, buddy?
Great last name though. You guys got a hell of a last name.
Really, I kind of thought it was shit, but
It rhymes with some mean words.
it
I had a
does.
tough childhood.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I
You
probably
were a part of
contributed
it,
a little
buddy.
bit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You were fueling the fire.
Feel like the fire, dude.
No, I had a great childhood for the record. Just playing around. Let's talk
Oh,
football.
man.
We're wasting too much time talking about last names, and I know that was my doing, but
Yeah, but I mean, to really summarize it, how I would say is I still consider Penn State underdogs going into the Penn State Ohio State game currently.
totally.
If I'm being honest, I
And
still consider Penn State the underdogs.
I imagine the spread will say the same, but I don't know. We'll see. They just
I don't
haven't.
know.
They haven't
It's-
had that test yet. Is all I'm saying. And you're right. Ohio
Yeah.
State had it and they failed. So you have a good point there. But the point remains: Penn State hasn't really played a top tier opponent yet. But they
Yeah.
do have some good wins, and they haven't been beaten yet. So yeah, they should be ranked pretty damn good. I was just curious if you actually think they are the third best team. But
Probably 4 or 5.
I don't really have a
but
problem with them being represented as that right now, just because they're undefeated and in a major conference, and they do have a good team. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it all shakes out.
Yeah, we will. We certainly will. I mean, got off this weekend, coming to Wisconsin the following weekend, and then you got Ohio State. So make it through Wisconsin, hopefully. I mean, they should. They got Braylon Locke at quarterback right now after Tyler Van Dyke went down and just should walk all over them. So should go into Ohio State weekend 7-0 and hopefully come out of that 8-0.
Yeah.
If we do, watch out, buddy.
Oh.
I'm going to be on a different
Oh.
wave.
Yeah. I mean, if you do, you see, that's the thing, and this is what we talked about last episode. If you do, you got to worry about that Big Ten championship game, and even so, if you do, that means you're undefeated pretty much, as long as you beat the rest of the teams that you should. you'll still get in the playoffs with just having one loss in the Big Ten championship game. So that wouldn't affect you that way, but it definitely makes things interesting if you're undefeated going into the Big Ten championship.
I
Because
agree.
now you're talking, do you get a bye week if you win
Yeah,
that?
I mean, with Penn State, we're probably talking pipe dreams here, but
Probably.
you know what? I'm into it.
Yeah.
Oh man, good stuff. Let's look forward to next week. The teams that are playing. A couple ranked matchups next week. Let's
Yeah.
start with Bama, Tennessee. Who you got there?
I went with the Vols. Just honestly, really interesting matchup, and with how both teams have played the last few weeks, makes it even more interesting. Because I mean, you have Bama who takes out Georgia, and then loses to Vanderbilt. Tennessee just lost to Arkansas. Like, both teams are studly. What do you make of that? Like, I don't know. Both teams already getting to that number. You can't lose too many games or you're not getting in playoffs. Like, we know that. You can't have that third loss. Both of these teams definitely don't want that second loss this early in the season. And it's SEC. I mean, they're going to have tougher matchups down the road still. Like, I know Tennessee still has to play Georgia. Like, they can't freaking lose. And, yeah, I mean, somebody's got to. And I went with Bama, but, I mean, could totally see it go either way.
All right, let's be clear. You ended that with you went with Bama,
Went
but
with
you started
Bama
with
to
you went with the
lose.
Vols.
To
Bama
lose.
to lose.
Yeah.
All right,
I
all right,
picked
all
the
right.
Vols.
All right, I went with Bama to win.
Cool.
And it's just what we saw of Bama at the beginning of the year. I feel like it's still got to be in that team, right? Like it's got to be there
Well,
somewhere.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying with
Like,
Tennessee too.
yeah.
Like these are two teams that looked like that was your top four, buddy. It was those two,
Yeah.
Georgia and whatever as your fourth. But yeah, they both ran into teams that they shouldn't have lost to, and they lost to them. So I don't really know
Yeah.
what to make of the matchup, but both teams are going to be desperate. It should be a phenomenal game.
No, I agree, and I just feel like Bama lost to Vandy, and then arguably maybe should have lost to South Carolina this past weekend.
Right.
That was just terrible at the end there.
Yeah.
Um,
So they're
I feel like
they're due for a bounce back, huh?
yeah, that's my thing there. It's like
Yeah.
maybe they have more of a kick in the ass than the Vols have right now. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Both asses are definitely sore, but Bama's might be a little more sore. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, on to the next one. I found this one very interesting and difficult to make a decision. Michigan, Illinois.
Oh, I was super quick with this one.
Yeah,
Illinois.
I ended up going Illinois as well. I
Yeah.
did end up going
I was
Illinois,
quick with this
but
one. Michigan just their offense just no good, man. They can't throw the ball. And I know we were talking a few weeks ago about it for a while, with that crazy lucky win they had. But yeah, their offense is really struggling. Illinois looked really good, and they only have one loss, and it's Penn State,
yeah.
who's a solid team. So
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I mean, just make me feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah. I'm trying something
but-
new. Treat you nice. Maybe I'll get treated nice. I don't know. We'll see.
Don't count on it,
Yeah.
Chief.
Then we'll get to the Eagles' next matchup, and then it's downhill.
Yeah.
But no, yeah,
Tell me
I
about
didn't
it.
waste much time on that one. Why did you
Interesting.
waste time on it?
Because of Illinois' performance against Penn State.
Yeah,
Like, it was not
like
good.
they didn't belong.
Yeah. So I thought it was kind of a toss-up. But I do agree, as I've stated many times in past episodes, I think Michigan sucks. So
Yeah,
Went with
I'm
Illinois.
right there with you, buddy, and I'm with you the whole way in proving that point. So let's continue to pick against them as long as they are in matched, or as long as they are matched up against ranked opponents while they're ranked. Which, by the way, they're 24 right now. So
yeah, one
if
of
we
them's
get our
24,
wish,
one of them's
bye
22.
bye,
Yeah.
bye bye.
That would be awesome. Michigan out of the top 25. Yes, please.
Just for them
Oh,
to get thrown back in for no freaking reason by the end of the year.
probably.
You
I
know
mean,
they're
they'll
going to
probably.
finish like 25 or 23 or whatever.
Hey, I'll still take that.
Yeah.
That's a pretty heavy fall from national champion. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time.
they certainly have no chance at that this year. Like even it's like say for example they go on a winning streak here, end the year, don't lose, maybe squeak into the playoff as like 12 or something, 11, who knows? I think they would get smacked by
Oh,
the
yeah.
first team they played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be on this podcast bitching about the fact that they gave them that 11 seed. So,
Yeah.
we'll
No,
be ready
100%.
for it.
Yeah. Let's move on to the last ranked matchup of next week. We
Another
got
eater.
Georgia and Texas.
Eater.
Oh yeah,
What'd you do,
it's a
Chuck?
good one.
Who'd you pick?
Texas. They just look
Ooh,
so good right now. They look so
nice.
good.
And I went with Georgia. Texas does look really good, though. They really, really do. But again, I'm back on that whole these teams can't take L's thing. And Georgia already has an L, and Texas does not. So Georgia's going to need it more for starters. Another thing I want to bring up, Georgia still has to play Ole Miss and Tennessee. They're really going to want this win, dude.
Yeah, they are.
They're really
They
going to
are.
want this win. That is a crazy schedule to have these three, Texas, Ole Miss, and Tennessee, and then to have already played Bama. That's just brutal. And
Yeah.
you look at Texas's schedule, also in the SEC this year, not nearly as difficult at all. So I don't know what if the SEC's just putting up welcome mats or what for these new teams, but that's sus. I mean, it really is. The only other I think or Texas is going to play Texas A&M like they always do. That's I think the only other ranked SEC team they have to worry about the rest of the way. Could be wrong, might be another one, but I'll tell you this right now: it's not Ole Miss, Tennessee, or Bama. So Georgia kind of got screwed there. But another thing about Georgia, we talked about it a few episodes ago. They haven't lost in the regular season like they just did the Bama. But before
Yep.
that, it was literally like 3 years of not losing in the regular season. And I still think that team is in there somewhere. They need solid quarterback play. They can't screw around with turnovers. Because I know Beck's had a few games where he's turned the ball over. And if he does that against Texas, that's a wrap. They don't need any help. But yeah, another one that should just be a great game. 2 weekends in a row of just phenomenal matchups in college. Gotta love it.
So let's say Georgia does beat Texas. How do you see the rankings playing out, 1 through 5? Because right now it's Texas, Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State, Georgia. Georgia wins. What happens? Does Penn State move up to number 2 and Oregon to 1?
Yeah.
Or does Georgia jump one or
No.
both of them for beating the number 1 team?
Oregon definitely gets the 1.
Yeah.
Penn State might get jumped just because, like I said, they didn't really play a top-tier opponent yet. Yeah. That's actually... Yeah, that's what I think would happen. And then you probably have both Georgia and Texas ahead of Penn State. So you have Oregon, Texas, Georgia, or Georgia, Texas. Probably Georgia, Texas, because Georgia would beat Texas in the head-to-head in this hypothetical. And then you probably have Penn State.
I think Penn State stays 3 worst.
It
I don't
would
think
be,
they
it-
get. I think
yeah.
Texas would drop to probably 4, definitely 4 or 5, and then Ohio State would fill the other one.
Okay.
I think Penn State probably stays at 3. My guess is Georgia would jump them to 2.
I think it should be Oregon, Georgia, Texas, Penn State, Ohio State. If Georgia wins.
I'm glad you think that. I respectfully disagree.
Cool. Hey, we got plenty of disagreements. That's fine.
Oh, yeah,
What's
that's
another
fine.
one?
That's fine. Yeah. I mean, as we'll talk about in our picks later, we can tell when we disagree. I'm right more of the time. So,
Hey, not with college game picks, but you might be after this week. We got some differences.
we do have some differences.
We've had a lot of the same in college, but
We have.
yeah.
We have. But anyways, let's move on to the NFL, baby. Let's talk about what happened last week. Should we start with the Thursday night game?
We should.
What'd you think about that? 49ers Seahawks.
I mean, division matchup. Nitty gritty. I like it. I mean, I thought
Home team didn't win.
yeah, that's true. But I didn't pick them to win, so that was okay.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah, like I said when we were making the predictions, the Niners had already lost to the Cardinals and the Rams. No way they were dropping that third
Yeah.
division game to Seattle. And yeah, we hit the nail on the head on that one.
Yeah. I mean, the 49ers just have running backs out the wazoo.
Yeah,
Are
I
you
know,
kidding
dude.
me? Jordan Mason, stepping in for Christian McCaffrey, has been running wild so far this year. And then he hurts his AC joint, goes out. They got Garendo that
Yeah.
comes in, and the man just 10 carries for like 99 yards.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me
Which-
wrong. One of them was like
I was-
70-something yard run.
Yeah,
so,
thank you. I was going to say that
like,
too. But
So that's a little bit.
yeah, did you see that? And then he had felt the need to say his speed better not be affected on Madden.
Yeah, he did. You can't
Do you
get
think he
caught
got
there, bro.
tackled? Because I got into an argument there. I totally thought he gave himself up. But then I
do
saw in
think
the
he gave
comments of
himself up.
that, like on
Yeah.
that post I saw, and like all these people saying he got tackled. And I don't know. I thought he gave himself up.
I think he gave himself up as well. I do actually agree with you there. And he did make a comment somewhere about that as well. I do believe he said that. I mean, he's probably
Which,
gonna say
yeah,
that
well,
either
that was
way.
related
Yeah.
to the Madden speed
Yeah,
thing. He was
yeah.
saying, don't adjust my
Yeah.
ratings like I
Yeah.
did for the sake of the team, even though he was wrong. In
Yeah,
that
he didn't need to
situation,
do
you
that.
score.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Dumb.
It's all right.
If only I
They
had
won.
blazing speed, I'd be making all the right decisions.
Obviously, all the time.
Every
As
time.
we discussed, it's clearly just, we weren't born with the genetics for it. There's nothing else holding us back at
Yeah.
all. So
Right.
just give us the body and we'll go out there and kill it. I mean,
Yeah,
come
man.
on. Oh man. Where do you want to go next? Let's talk about one game where we picked differently.
Okay.
Jaguars Bears, the
Ah, you
London
dick.
game early on Sunday morning.
No, but I'm happy about this.
I bet you are.
I mean, Bears' third favorite team. Caleb Williams looked awesome.
He did.
And my main reason for picking the Jags was, well, two things. They needed a win, bad, even though they just had one the week before. They were going for the BOGO special. But the second thing being, this, I imagine, would be a lot for a rookie quarterback with as much pressure as Caleb Williams has. All the weapons they gave him, the defense, everything, just the Bears team added so much pressure on him to succeed. And after the first few weeks, you kind of saw that. And now he's firing. I mean, it's clicking for him.
Oh, he's figuring it
And,
out. Yeah, he's definitely figuring
they're gonna
it
be a
out.
decent team for a while. Whether they make the next step, I don't know. But yeah, very happy with that. Mad that I picked the Jags.
I'm very happy with your decision. I
Yeah.
appreciate when you're wrong. I mean, I'm not going to complain about
Hey,
it.
which I wasn't wrong much this week, and neither were you, buddy.
Very true.
But
Very
we'll get
true.
to that.
We will get to that. But no, you're right. I mean, I believed in Caleb Williams. I think he's starting to figure it out. And he showed that, like you said, that's a tough situation going to London.
Yeah.
Playing against a team that's very experienced playing in London, in the
Right.
Jags.
Yes.
For some reason, they've just got hella games there the
Yeah.
past few years, and they've got 2 this year, back-to-back weeks. That's
that was the
crazy.
same way last year. That's why I was
Yeah.
saying that. That was my other main point in picking them.
Yeah.
It's not new for them. But yeah, they looked like trash, dude. And they
They
started
look
that game.
terrible.
The start of that game was a phenomenal drive by Jacksonville. Marched right down the field. And I literally was like, all right, got this pick right. I was very wrong. That
No,
was
you
the
did
only
not.
good thing they did, like, the entire game. And my boy Dougie P, his seat is so hot right now. He's
No, I
smoking.
think if they lose this week, he's gone.
I'm so against. I really don't like mid-season firings.
But it's the Patriots, man. If they lose to the
No, I know.
Patriots,
I know.
he's
I'm just saying. I'm very against it. I don't think it's cool. Don't do my boy Dougie like that. Like we didn't like the Eagles didn't do him bad.
exactly like let's not talk about that.
I
Like,
mean, it wasn't mid-season.
it wasn't, but it wasn't great either.
No,
And now you got some clown
it was
running your
2 years
team.
after a
So
Super Bowl victory.
yeah,
Thanks a lot, dog. See ya.
yeah. I mean, if I was you, I'd rather have Dougie P than Sirianni right now. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying.
Bro. I'd rather have a frickin' footlong from Subway than Syria.
Man. But yeah, anyways, let's jump to the Eagles Browns game while we're on it. While we're talking about it. Yeah.
Let me get some water quick.
Needs a little refresh for the rant he's about to go on.
That was fucked.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
That game was ass, dude. I don't think a victory has felt that bad in a long time. That was really bad. The Browns are historically bad this year. Like, offensively, they are historically bad. Granted, we did gift them 7. Well, I mean, I guess you could call it that. Myles Garrett jumped over our frickin' long snapper and friggin' blocked a field goal. But, yeah, they got 7 that way. That's really what made the game interesting. I probably would have felt a little better about it if that didn't happen just because of the score difference. But that doesn't excuse the Eagles on how that game went down. And it was just not it, man. Like, struggling with teams like this, oh, it's so brutal. I'm just glad we won, honestly. Like, I don't get it, dude. And I saw power rankings, too, and they have us at, like, 12. Are you watching the same Eagles team that I'm watching? Because we're not 12. We're, like, mid-20s. Like, we're a bad team right now. We are. Like, screw what's on paper. Screw what should be done each week. We're bad. And
Yeah.
it sucks. And I hate saying it. I'm actually giving myself goosies. I got goosies.
Get used to it, man. I don't
No,
think anything's
I'm
going
not
to
gonna get
change
used
till
to it. We're gonna
Sirianni's
bounce
out.
back, baby. Hey,
Huh?
last year was on the coordinators. This year's on Sirianni. We got a fall guy again. Just flush them out. We're gonna flush these rats out. It's gonna be all good.
Oh, man. Spoken like a true Eagles fan
Dude,
over
the
there.
team is there though.
It is.
A
But
second after I
they're
said
not
screw
playing
what's
like
on
it.
paper.
Yeah, yeah.
But look at the
exactly.
paper. It's gas.
It is very good. I mean, it really is. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen
It
Hurts,
is. And,
Saquon Barkley.
I mean, the
Dallas
pieces are there
Goedert.
defensively too. Like, some guys have to do it. Like, it's all potential and
You have a lot of guys on the defense that have to do it, man.
right, and it's all potential and all they are capable of, and like, but just do it. Just freaking do it. But they're not. That being said, the defense did look really good. But like I said, it's a historically bad offense. Like, I was seeing all those stats where they're like pulling shit from now since 2000, and like that Browns offense in almost every category is like the bottom 1%.
Yep.
Like, some of the stats were like total yards or whatever, and it was like out of 738 different teams, like the Browns were 735. Like,
I saw the exact same thing.
It's
They
horrible.
were terrible.
it's
But
horrible.
bright
And the
side-
Eagles
bright spot
struggled
for them.
at home, and after losing the week before. Like, let's get it together, boys. Like, we had the Browns last week, we got the Giants this week. Like, this is where we turn it around, get the momentum going. And I mean, that's what I was saying last week, but after watching that Browns game, I don't know.
I wanted the Browns to win so bad. I was so ready for them to score, go ahead 23-20, and me to be able to come on here tonight and just rip you apart. I was so ready for that, and
I'm
they
so glad it
disappointed
didn't
me.
happen.
But
The
as you
worst
said,
part
they
is
are
it's
a historically bad team. They
the
really are.
feeling
Like that.
though. It's going to happen. Like we will lose by 20 to the Giants, and I'm gonna get torn a new one, and it's just a matter of time.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna blow a layup game, and you're gonna let
I
me
know.
hear it.
I know. I'm ready for it. I'm excited. Are you excited?
Not really, because the Lions are playing so good. Like I can't
They
say
are.
anything. They're
I
literally
know.
like they might be the hottest team in football right now.
Oh, I
And
think they are.
after yeah, especially after last week, which I mean, praise God, Dallas is having problems too, or I would really be depresso. But yeah, they really spanked them at home again. I mean, the Cowboys just
Oh
keep
yeah.
dropping these home games. But yeah, they demolished them, and they're clicking. I mean, we've been on them from the start. We said what they needed to do. They're doing it. It's working. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
I want a team like that again.
Hey man, it was not like that for a very long time, okay?
Hey, I know. I'm
Praise
not
Dan
saying I haven't had
Campbell.
it good. I'm just saying
Yeah.
I don't have it good right now, and I want it good.
Like I said, praise Dan Campbell. That dude is my Lord and Savior. Like, thank you. I appreciate you so much. But you're right. The Lions went into Dallas and absolutely stomped all over the
Yeah.
Cowboys. It's great. Like almost the entire fourth quarter, backups were playing for both teams. It was that bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it was
I saw
hilarious. Jared
Hooker
Goff,
did some things.
yeah, he did some things. Um, Jared Goff, great performance again. Last 2 weeks, hey, I was asking for him to return to last season's form in these last 2 weeks. Whoo, is he
Yeah.
looking
And
good?
what a guy. What
He's
did he do
looking
with the game
good.
ball this week?
Yeah, I
Gave it
know.
right
I
to
know.
coach.
No,
I thought that was
he's a
cool.
stand-up dude. No, I
That was
agree.
cool.
He's a stand-up dude as well. And the
And Dan's
Lions, the
like,
amount of
I got the stats this time. Like,
yeah, he did. He's like, I wrote
yeah.
some stats
Cause
down
he,
this time.
well, because he didn't give Goff the game ball after his
Yeah.
perfect game or whatever.
Yep.
So
Oh
funny.
man, that was funny. That was funny. Yeah, the Lions pulled out so many trick plays. We tried to throw it a lineman like
Dude.
4 or
Oh
5
my,
times,
I'm
and
so
that was
glad you brought that
definitely
up.
just a
Because
troll.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Because you did that because you were playing Dallas. Because
Yes.
Dallas, how many times have we seen them play a team that they're just way better than, and they just don't take their foot off the gas? And I know in the grand scheme of things you're taught not to in sports, but you do.
Yeah.
It's just what you do. If the game is away and you're up 24 with a quarter left to play or whatever, why is Prescott still in? Like, why is Zeke still in at the time or whatever? Like, it's dumb. And you're asking for karma to bite you in the ass, and it's just not the way you do things. But it's like, it's honestly like in NBA, like they're running out the clock or whatever, dribbling around. It's like that team going and scoring. Like, you just don't
Yeah.
do that. And Dallas does that. So I was very happy to see the Lions pulling all the stops out and just doing weird, cool plays that they probably wouldn't do in a need to win situation. So it was just fun.
Yeah.
And Dallas had it coming. They really did.
Oh, they did.
They
They
play that
absolutely
game
did.
with many teams many times.
Yep. I want to jump back to something you said. Like you said, Zeke's still in there, dude. Zeke was still taking handoffs once like all the other backups came in. When CD was out, Dak was out. The fact that
Oh,
they're
yeah.
still throwing him out there was hilarious.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's your starting running back, Cowboys. That's your starting man.
Yeah.
Like what?
Which I
Like,
was referencing the Cowboys of the past when I
Yeah.
said that, but yeah, even still today, it doesn't make much sense. Which, I mean, Zeke doesn't really hold much value to them, I'm sure, right
No.
now. So, but yeah, it's dumb. I just don't like when teams do that. Like, you got to have a respect for your opponent. I mean, they're trying. It's the NFL. Like, these guys are paid way too much money to not, or to try, and they're trying. So if you're spanking them up and down the field all game, you don't just rub their nose in it. Like, that's just wrong. But yeah, Dallas be doing that stuff, so it's good to see it go the other way.
It was great. But let's take a moment and reflect on the bad that came out of that game. And that was the very unfortunate injury to Aiden Hutchinson. He was, how the season was playing out, even after an early bye week, he was still leading the league in sacks coming into the week, and maybe on his way to a possible Defensive Player of the Year if he kept that up. And unfortunately, it's looking like Lions are going to be without him for the rest of the year with that unfortunate broken leg. And it just really unfortunate. It wasn't a bending wrong way, wasn't getting stepped on. It was just the wrong amount of force on the wrong spot on the leg, and it just gave out.
Yeah.
So really unfortunate there
Yeah, you hate to see
because
that.
he's
a
a vital
dude,
piece. Yeah, I agree.
But yeah,
Does
it
a
sucks.
lot.
I hate injuries. I was just saying, or I was talking to my brother about this, because Nico Collins is hurt right now too, which he'll come back, but he was leading the league in receiving yards. Now you got Hutch down leading the league in sacks. Granted, he got like 5 in one game or whatever, but still leading nonetheless. And yeah, it sucks. And especially those two teams, like the Texans and the Lions. Those are two teams that have done nothing but struggle for their existence or whatever. And they're really good this year. Like, how fun would that Super Bowl matchup be? The world wants that to happen. Like, and then now these stars are going down. Like, it just sucks. But that's the game.
It is. It's all about how you bounce back and who
how you
steps up
adapt to this.
to take his role.
Do you get Hassan Reddick? Is that how you adapt?
No. Stay away from our team, Hassan. Like, get out of here.
Seems a bit cancerous, doesn't
I mean,
he?
his agency dropped him, so I think it's a him problem at this point. So
yeah,
please stay away. We don't need any of that. I don't think we're going to bring in anything. I feel like that's where we're heading in this conversation, and I don't think that they're going to make any moves. Brad Holmes is very big on the draft, and I don't think he's going to give up the draft capital required for the names being thrown around there right now, like Max Crosby. I just don't see us giving up a first round plus maybe more for him.
Ugh. Yeah, I wouldn't. It's not like he's a spring chicken. It's kind of old.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that combo would be filthy. But now Hutch is down, so scratch it.
Exactly. I mean, got James Houston, kind of a pass rush specialist, so he could definitely do a lot in terms of what Hutch could do in terms of pass rushing, but he's certainly not the guy you want ever in pass coverage or playing the run.
Yeah,
so
that's true. And Hutch be getting mad picks. We know that from his rookie year. He's a hawk.
Exactly. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, but I got faith that Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn will figure it out. Defense has been looking pretty good. Terry and Arnold figuring it out a little bit, getting penalized a lot less, so very happy about that.
Bro, out of the gates, he was like, it
was really bad.
Yeah, and he's legit. Like, he's supposed to be really legit. And the first few weeks, he can't keep his hands off. But yeah, I will say he's looked better just from the simple fact that less laundry's been on the field.
Exactly.
Which is a beautiful thing. My gosh. There's a segue for you. Bills Jets. What the heck? With those flags, dude.
Yeah. That was something. I mean, when Aaron Rodgers comes out in a game that he lost and still says a roughing the passer called in favor of him was not roughing the passer.
Right. Yeah.
That's when you know it's bad.
Yeah.
Like
after a loss, too. You're right. That's a great point. Yeah. And it really was. It was brutal. There was like a 10-minute stretch where it was literally like, I don't want to watch this. It's not even football anymore. Like, it started feeling like baseball, like old baseball. Like, wait 3 minutes in between a play baseball.
Hey, man.
Crazy.
baseball don't need to be catching strays out here, all right?
All right. Well, Lions are doing good, so I got to bash something near and dear to your heart.
I don't accept that response.
Fair.
Yeah,
You got it anyway.
I know. But it's not going to register.
But yeah.
All right.
Anyway, while we're there, Bills Jets, penalties aside, it's a pretty good game.
It was a good game. Close game.
Close.
Kickers decided that game. Greg Zuerlein missed
Oh my
2
gosh.
field goals.
Yeah.
Tyler Bass missed a field goal and an extra
And an
point.
extra point, yep. And
So
we got to see another Rodgers Hail Mary.
we did.
Those are fun,
Aaron
dude.
Rodgers
They're
is
so
just-
fun. And I didn't like him or the Packers when he was there. And I don't like him or the Jets while he's there. But plays like that, you just can't go against them. Like, they're so fun. And-
Why don't you like Aaron Rodgers? Let's take a little.
Because I'm jealous. I don't like the best guy for the most part in like almost every sport. For the most part.
That's fair.
For the most part. But yeah, Rodgers was the best guy for what, frickin' 7 years or some shit?
Yeah, that's you
It's-
know what? Fair
yeah.
enough.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely jealousy. I'm not saying I'm in the right for not liking the guy, but that definitely played a role. I'm seeing this, and you know, the Eagles had their slew of quarterbacks instead, and it's just like, why can't we ever get the guy? Jealous.
Well, that's just the Packers, dude. They just don't miss. Brett
No, they
Favre
don't.
to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. Are you kidding me? What the hell is that? That's just
Yeah.
that's
Why-
lunacy.
It's true, and I think they really have a quarterback whisperer at coach right now too, which is definitely helping. Because I thought Love was going to be the end of the streak, which not much of a streak when it's just Favre and Rodgers, but I did not expect this out of Jordan Love, and I mean, he's really good. He's not. I don't think he should be the highest paid, or which he's not anymore, but you know what I mean. He was for a time, and yeah, I don't think he's all that, but. Very good player, and I would want to keep him. So they
I
probably
agree,
did
but
the right
that's
thing.
also that's just what you have to do to keep quarterbacks these days.
Yeah, you
Because
do.
he would have gotten paid that by somebody. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
the quarterback market's just crazy. It makes absolutely no sense. It's getting out of control, actually.
I don't know how you stop it either. Like you kind of can't. You're just gonna have to keep bumping up the cap every year, and
I mean,
yeah,
they could just continue to pay them about the same amount, but no. To bring in the best talent, one team's always going to make that jump, and then the other teams are going to have to follow to keep their guys.
yeah.
Ugh. It's going to be
And then
gross.
there's the Browns guaranteeing a fully guaranteed contract to a rapist.
Literally the
Like,
worst. It is easily
so
at this point the
stupid.
worst contract in NFL history.
Yeah.
The worst in NFL history.
And it went to a
by far.
scumbag. Like what the heck? Like that should have been.
I mean, this-
that should have been Nick Foles' contract with the Jaguars or whatever when he left Philly. Like that's the guy who deserves the fully
Oh
guaranteed.
man. Goodness gracious. Yeah.
You know I'm just playing, but you know what I mean. Don't give it to the douche.
Yes. I get it. And I mean, they're getting what they deserve out of it. A nothing burger at the quarterback position and no leverage to change it because they've paid him $250 million guaranteed.
Yep. Yeah.
So
and
you
that's
gotta
why,
hope he figures it
and
out.
that, ladies and gentlemen, is why there are franchises out there that just can't get out of the hole.
They make bad
Yes.
decisions.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyways, let's move on. Let's talk about one more game from last week before we move on to picks for the next week. Let's talk Bengals-Giants a little bit. The Sunday night game. Not a great game from either side. I don't think either side played great. Bright side for the Bengals, their defense showed up for the first time. Silver lining, it's the Giants.
Right.
Bad
Giants
sign for the
defense
Bengals.
showed up pretty good though.
Giants, that's exactly what I was going to say from the other end is the Bengals offense struggled big time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Giants defense deserves a shout though. Dexter Lawrence is a beast. I mean,
Yep.
he
And this
is a beast.
I'm pretty sure I said it episode 1 too. Just outscope looking in on the year. Like this Giants team, not a good team, but their D line is serious. I mean, Thibodeau, Burns, and Lawrence, like that's pretty filthy. Um, Lawrence has like 7 sacks or something too. Like,
Oh
just
no,
gross. He's like a nose guard. Like,
he is a straight up nose guard, nose tackle, and he's probably one of the best nose guard, nose tackle sack artists of all time. Like
yeah,
he
I'd agree. That is
yeah,
crazy.
like
You see guys go
yeah,
their career with like 10.
yeah.
Buddy's gonna have 10 this season. Like that's just gross. And being the
No, he's
nose,
crazy.
you're and when you're the nose, you're getting doubled.
Yeah,
How's he doing this? Like he must
no,
be
it's
Aaron
crazy.
Donald or something. Like he's got high end freaking talent. Which
Yeah, no,
Donald, of
he is
course,
great.
wasn't really a nose, more of a 4-3 tackle. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's crazy to see. And I always knew he was good, and I knew he was a stud. But seeing that stat was like a jaw dropper, because I didn't know he was like that.
no, he's like that. I gotta say,
Crazy.
he's like that. I got a coworker at work who's a Giants fan, and he just consistently raves about him.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I think he'd put him up there. I think he'd claim Dexter Lawrence is the best player in the NFC, honestly. So, I'm not kidding. I think that's where he'd put him.
Okay. This guy's lucky I don't know him.
Man.
No, he's a good player though,
He is.
no doubt.
He is. But, with that said, Bengals won, got another needed win. Giants, L.
Yeah,
Classic.
we like that.
You know?
Let's hope they go for another one this week, please God, please.
I will be so
I don't really know
okay
who they're
if they
playing,
don't.
but I really hope they lose, please.
Yeah, you don't know?
No, I have no clue.
Some bird team?
Yeah, it's probably a really cool bird. It's probably like the most badass bird.
Oh, yeah. I think the team makes a mockery of that bird. That's what they're doing.
Interesting take.
That's all I'm
Before we
saying.
go on to game picks, there were some trades this week, Chuckster.
You're right. You're right. We got to talk about
We
this.
got to talk about this. Aaron Rodgers got his boy back, Devontae Adams.
He did.
Do you think that is going to make a difference for the Jets?
It's tough.
I think it's going to make a difference, but not enough of a difference.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think they'll probably still squeak into playoffs. But honestly, I think they would have squeaked into playoffs before they got Adams.
Even still,
So-
with how the season's played out.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. I think
I'm not
they'll do it.
like I'm not too familiar with their schedule or anything. I just know losing record and all that, and it's just like wasn't
Oh,
sure
yeah.
you still felt that way. But yeah, going into the
I think
season, I
they'll
thought they'd be playoffs for sure.
I think they'll squeak into a wild card spot, but I think they probably would have done that before. I don't think that Adams will make their playoff run any deeper, though. But I do expect the Rodgers-Adams connection to be pretty elite. I
Yeah.
think, honestly, Garrett Wilson takes a pretty big hit here, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
I don't know that their passing attack really becomes much more lethal, maybe a little bit, because I think Devontae's
I definitely
better
think
than
it
Garrett
does.
Wilson, but
And
yeah.
I was looking at some film on it too. Like you could see the way their offense was running. They just like the defense did not care at all about Mike Williams or Lazard, which we saw that Lazard's had a few really good weeks, but they're just worried about Wilson. Now Adams is in the picture, probably going to be more worried about Adams, and even if they are more worried about Wilson, they can't be more worried about both.
Yeah.
So you're getting back into the having Smitty, having AJ, having Chase, having Higgins, like teams with multiple guys who can get the job done. So it's definitely going to help their offense. Like you said, Rodgers and him already have that chemistry, that connection. That should be pretty much rapid fire. Like I imagine
Yeah.
he will have a decent game this week, even
I
though
agree.
the trade just happened. But yeah, I think it's going to make them better. I don't think it's going to put them like over the top, especially being in the AFC. I mean, still really good teams there. Upon thinking about it more, you're probably right, though. They probably do get playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Because you look at other teams going into the season that we thought might make playoffs, and they're dumpster fires. I mean,
Yep.
like Jags, Colts, both of them wouldn't have been shocked if they made playoffs. Neither are going to. Dolphins, no. Browns, even. Going into the
Yep.
season, like I thought AFC North was freaking every team was gas.
Yep.
And I couldn't have been more wrong there because Bengals look like crap and the Browns are the Browns. But yeah, that frees up so much wild card space for them. So
Exactly.
even with the slow start, I agree. I think they'll make it happen. But yeah, that's enough about the Jets and Devontae. Another trade. The Bills got Amari Cooper.
You're right. They certainly did, and
Yeah.
good for Amari getting out of the shit show that is Cleveland right now.
I
And
would
the
I would
Bills,
I would say that,
also a
but
good
I feel
get.
like he played his way out of there, which I don't know how I feel about that. He was
I
like leading
don't
the league in
necessarily.
drops, and this is Amari Cooper. Like something's wrong. Maybe there's like
Yeah,
too
I
much
mean,
moisturizer on the football coming from Watson's hand. I don't know.
are you kidding me with that right now? That is out of pocket.
That was diabolical.
Yeah, but jeez, the Bills really need a wide receiver one, anyways. So this was a good trade for them as
It
well,
was.
and
We talked about that. I think I said it last episode. Josh Allen is definitely missing
Yeah.
that wide receiver one. And yeah, I guess they felt the same way because they went and got him one. Chance to bash the Cowboys, so I'm going to take it. They traded Amari Cooper to the Browns for like a 5th round pick.
yep,
And the Browns just got rid of him 3 years later for a 3rd. So screw you, Dallas.
Dallas
Just had to throw that in there.
had such a weapon in Amari, and I think they wasted the opportunity to really maximize him.
Yeah.
So
But they don't have CD if they have Amari. So
it's true, but we see how that's working out. So
fair. Yeah, they need, believe it
yeah.
or not, the Cowboys didn't know this. They need more than 4 good players to win games. But that's where all their money went. So
Hey, if you ask Jerry about it, he certainly does not want to talk about it right now.
yeah,
I saw just before we move on to picks, he went on a Dallas radio show. I think it's the official radio show of the Dallas Cowboys, and he was on an interview there, and the hosts were asking him questions about off-season moves and stuff like that, and he was like, "Well, you're not going to talk to me about these off-season moves. Are you a genius? If so, you need to join this meeting I have in a few minutes. So we're not going to talk about that. I'll get someone else on here to come ask me questions." It's just, he is not a happy man
Wow.
right now.
no.
Yeah.
But that makes me have some fun. Having some fun.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
You need a little bit of that because the Eagles are also a dumpster fire. So
Yeah. Right. Thanks for the reminder.
yeah, I was going to say, don't forget about that, Chief.
Yeah. I did just admit that like all episode.
I know,
You don't
but I
have
needed to
also tell me.
really cement that.
I already won another bye week. I knew I told you I was going to say this. I thought I was going to say it like week 10. No, I want another one right now. If we could just play every other week, I'll live
Yeah.
longer, and I think the team might do better too. It could be a twofer.
I mean, you had your bye week and came out and played like this, so are we really sure about that?
It was a dub. It was a dub.
Okay.
It was a dub.
Show up to any
Dub.
important
Should I go
game.
Jameis Winston on you? You got to eat that dub.
Show up to any important game and play like that, and you're getting stomped, and you know it.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, power rankings having us at 12 is wild to
Yeah.
me. Are we the 12th best team so far this year? Ugh. Must be watching different leagues or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But anyways, with that, let's now move on to picks. let's give a
Is
quick
weird.
summary before we really get into it. Where we're at 6 weeks into the year at this point.
Healthy chunk.
So we have had 92 games to pick. To this point, I have picked 60 out of those 92 correctly, and Chris has picked 53. Me at a 65% clip, Chris at 58. I am up by 7 picks going into week 7. So I'm a fan of that. Really like that. Hoping to keep building on that. And now,
7 is pretty good. Not gonna lie.
Oh,
I got some work cut out for me for sure.
you do. I'm happy with it, but as I've said before, it really can turn around just that fast. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
it can.
Last week, a great week for both of us. As you'd
Yes.
mentioned earlier, I went 13 of 14. You 12 out of 14. So tough to see you drop a game in a
Yeah,
week where you
right.
get 12 out of 14 correct.
Yes.
But
Correct,
can I
Chuck.
say?
Thank you for bringing that to the spotlight.
I mean, what can I
You
say,
made a
man?
really
Just be
good
better.
week feel bad. Yes, correct.
Yeah. I mean, just keep having them, and maybe you won't have this problem. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's wrap that back to how we're doing against the ESPN experts out there. Looked into this again, see where they're at. And at this point in the season, I had a really rough week, as did Chris 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
So I'm no longer ahead of all of the analysts, but I am ahead out of 10 out of the 11 that make picks every week. There is one guy who's got 64 out of 92 to this point, which is quite impressive. So I am behind him, but I am ahead of the other 10. Chris, however, other end of the stick here, he is ahead
This
of
guy.
2 with 9 being ahead of him. So we'll see if he can make up any ground or if he keeps digging himself a deeper hole that he's got to try to climb out of. We're going to find out.
Yeah. We will.
I'll hope you dig the hole. I'm good with that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, who do you think I should pick?
Oh man. Okay. Let's get started. First game, Thursday night game, Broncos Saints. Who'd you go with?
I went with the Broncos. No Derek Carr again, I presume.
Mm-hmm.
And Sean Payton revenge game. I feel like the coach comes out on top on this one a lot of the time.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
definitely makes me feel better. But the main reason why I picked them is because Spencer Rattler or whatever. What does
He played
have?
well last week, though.
He did. He honestly did, and I should give him some
He
credit.
surprised me.
I don't like
Yeah.
this guy. I've never liked this guy.
He did seem like quite a diva in college, to be honest. So I'm good with the take. I went Broncos as well for pretty much all the reasons that you listed there. Broncos have a very good defense. Not sure that Spencer Rattler is ready for that. Broncos are going to miss Pat Surtain this week, so that is a big hit because he is one of the best
That is
corners in the league.
true. Saints are going to be without Olave. So
Yes, they are. Not that Olave's really been that important to them so far this
No.
year. if
But
we're being
actually, I
honest.
think Shaheed's missing too.
I do think he is. So
Yeah.
I think they're going to have to rely on
It's
Bub
Kamara.
Means, Juwan Johnson, Kamara. Yeah,
Kamara show. It's got to be.
yeah. So both got Broncos there. Up next, we got the London game, Patriots, Jaguars. I went Jaguars in this one, which I don't honestly feel great about. Drake May played really well last week, and Patriots defense has been pretty consistently good, but I guess I reverted to the reasons you gave last week for them winning
Yeah.
in London. Drake May only has 1 game under his belt compared to Caleb's 5 before last week's game. So I guess I'm thinking maybe that has a bigger effect on Drake, and
Yeah.
maybe the Jaguars play kind of like they can if they, decide to show up for once. So I got the Jags there.
Yeah. I picked the Jags too. Same reasoning. Same thing as the Bears last week. No way I go 0 for 2 on this theory. There's just no way.
Not at all, right?
And again, Jags in a must-win game again. So, and because
Like
that's
we
the
said.
thing. Like, I feel like teams are, which rightfully so, but I think they're hesitant to admit how bad they are. Like, I think the Jags are still going
Yeah.
to fight like a fight in a borderline playoff team. Like, even
Yeah.
though, I mean, they're running out of games to right the ship real quick. You can't
Oh,
keep dropping games in the
absolutely.
NFL. We say it all the time. But yeah, I just think must win game. Rookie quarterback going to London again. Like, yeah,
Yeah, like
don't
we
let
said
me down
earlier,
this
if
time,
they
Jags.
lose,
Don't do it,
if they lose, Dougie P might be gone. So I don't think they want to lose.
Douglas. No.
Yeah. All right. So up next we got Seahawks Falcons. I found this one very difficult. Who'd
Hmm.
you go with?
I found this difficult too, mainly because of their records currently. That
Yep.
was really playing with me because, like, if you pick the Falcons to win, Seattle's gonna have a losing record,
Yep.
which doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
But then you pick Seattle to win, and then it's like, then they're gonna have the same record as the Falcons. Okay, kind of see it, but I don't know. Anyhow, that was just a bunch of hoopla. I went with the Falcons. I ended up picking them, but yeah, really was tempted to pick the Seahawks because of their record, and again, that's a team kind of getting pressed into that gotta win a game corner. So, but yeah, I went with Falcons anyway.
Yeah. I like it. I ended up going with the Seahawks here.
Ooh,
I think
fun.
I know
That
our
makes me
first difference
nervous
of the
though.
week.
That's a
Yeah.
nervous. That's a nervous one
Yeah.
for sure.
See, I just think so. Seahawks had their divisional matchup last week against the 49ers. They lose that. DK Metcalf got kind of locked up low key, but he's been really good overall this year. So I just really think against the Falcons there, I think DK has a really good game. Kenneth Walker's been great almost every game that he's played in so
Yeah,
far.
he has.
And
I think he's
I think it's gonna be
definitely the X
close.
factor in my eyes.
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker. Yeah, Atlanta has pieces for Metcalf. Honestly, like I wouldn't be shocked if he has a good game, but I don't expect him to kill them. I could see Walker killing them.
Yeah. I just I think it's gonna be close, but ended up going Seahawks here.
Cool.
Yeah.
That is such
Up
a nervous
next.
one, though. That one's I'm
No,
gonna be a mess.
I'm also nervous that you have the Falcons there, to be
Yeah, I'm
honest.
sure that's just one
yeah.
of them games where it was totally an either
Yeah.
way one.
Yeah. Up next, I got what I imagine was probably a pretty easy one for you. It was for me. Titans Bills.
Yeah.
I went Bills for
Yeah.
pretty
I was gonna
obvious
say
reasons
on
there.
three, okay? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bills.
They're just a much better team. Really don't need to discuss much about that one.
No.
Up next, we got Bengals and Browns. Two disappointing AFC North teams so far.
Yes.
So, but the Browns, as we said earlier, have been historically bad. I got the Bengals here.
Yeah. Yeah. Historically bad offense, and they just lost their best weapon. Yeah. I have the Bengals. Browns are getting Chubb back, I believe, this week, though.
I
Which
did see that.
I
yeah.
think that's definitely going to help them become
Mhm.
not the worst offense ever, but that's about it. I love Chubb. He's awesome.
Chubb's awesome. He
don't
is
clip
awesome.
that. But yeah, I'm very glad he's back. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be enough to counteract the Bengals' firepower. So
That's fair. Yeah. Up next, we got the Texans and the Packers. This one was tough.
this was a tough.
Two good teams. Packers are at home. Both pretty hot right
So
now.
you definitely picked them if they're the home team.
I did not. I went Texans.
Good. I went Packers.
Good.
Fun. That's a fun one.
That is a fun one.
Reasoning, don't really have much. These are tough. Like when it's just two
Yeah.
good teams going at it's like
You just
who
gotta
the hell
kind of follow
knows?
what your
What are you
gut's
asking me
telling you,
for?
man.
I don't know.
Yeah, like you just gotta go with the gut.
Yeah.
That's just how it
But-
is.
Nico being hurt, I think that definitely helps the Packers. That guy's a stud. So anytime he's off the field, definitely gonna help. I mean, they still have Diggs. Mixon's back.
Yeah, I was
Mixon
gonna
looks
say Mixon's back.
crazy good.
He does.
Like, and coming back from this injury, like I saw one of his runs. I literally had to do a triple take. He was moving so well. Like, I didn't think he had wheels like that, but he just looks really good. I wonder if he, like, dropped, like, 15 pounds or something this offseason.
Maybe.
Yeah. But,
He was
yeah,
looking
went
rough
with
at
the
the end of his
Packers.
Bengals tenure.
I definitely do like that they are home. But I don't know if it's going to make a difference. It's about 50-50 for me this year. So
Yeah. I'll be honest, that's another one where I'm nervous that you have the opposite team.
yeah. Oh, and likewise. It's, again, just two very similarly matched opponents going at it. So flip a coin, man. I don't know who's winning. I'm waiting for one of us to just pick a tie. If one of us
I'm
picks
never
the
picking
tie,
a
they
tie.
should just
I'm telling yeah.
they should just guaranteed win our competition. I'm just gonna spray and pray, pick tie for every matchup the rest of the year. I'm gonna win.
I'm never picking a draw ever.
No, who would
We're
do
putting it in
that?
the rules right now. No ties allowed.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just joking. That's freaking idiotic. Where are your balls? You gotta freaking pick a team, man.
Oh man. Up next we got the Dolphins and the Colts. Dolphins just look in shambles right now. So I went Colts for really that reason. Not necessarily that the Colts look great, but
Right,
the Dolphins
exactly.
are in shambles.
I was gonna say that this one was tough for me. Actually, this was not a no-brainer, especially with Richardson coming back. If
Yeah.
Flacco was quarterback, I'd feel really good about picking the Colts.
He's looked great.
Oh my gosh, I love it, dude.
Yeah,
Flacco,
he's awesome.
Andy Dalton, like all these guys, just oh man,
It's
and
like
he
the
still got
childhood
it.
heroes are coming out and just still showing out in the year 2024,
Oh, man.
dude. It's
They're
awesome.
literally superheroes. Like I love it. You know how big Flacco's balls are to go out there as like a 40-year-old man against these 24-year-old 350-pound of muscle maniacs running at you?
Yeah.
Like, my gosh. Major
It's-
kudos for that.
It's
But yeah,
awesome. It's awesome.
all that
to
being
see.
said, with the Colts likely playing Richardson, I still pick the Colts. Pretty much for the reason you said. Dolphins look terrible. I think with each week Huntley is their quarterback, it's going to get better. But it's never gonna get to the Tua's back. Like it's not
Yeah.
gonna reach that level, and that's kind of what they would need to win these games, and that's why we're seeing them drop them. But
Yep.
yeah. So Colts.
Yeah. Up next, we got my Lions taking on the Vikings.
Yeah.
But I'd like to hear your thoughts on this one first.
Okay. Still didn't pick the Vikings. Still have yet to pick them to win a game this year, and they're winning a lot of games. So, but yeah,
Oh, really?
I did it again. I picked the Lions. I went against them. Like I said, I think the Lions are the hottest team in the league right now. And if they needed any freaking motivation at all, now Hutch is hurt. So it's like, yeah, I think they're gonna win. And the Vikings are no joke. We know that. I'm beginning to accept it. I might pick them one of these weeks. I don't know, but which I have no beef against the Vikings either. That's what makes this so funny. I have always somewhat liked the Vikings, but yeah, just can't pick them. But yeah, it's a game they're gonna want to win too. It's not like the Vikings are ass. They're good. So, I mean, division matchup, definitely gonna want to win it. Both of them. So you got the hottest team in the league that wants to win it. I'm gonna pick them.
Yeah. I also went Lions here. I think the Vikings dropped their first game. I mean, they've kind of come, even though they've won them, they've kind of come back down to earth their last two games a little bit.
I'd agree.
And like you said, the Lions were playing, down to earth and then really have turned it on recently, playing some really good football. So I think the Vikings will drop their first game, and I think the Lions will move into their rightful place atop the AFC North.
Yeah. Till year
And the
3,
Eagles
Caleb Williams.
still will not be atop the NFC East. So,
All right. We didn't even get to
So-
the Commanders game yet. No spoilers.
well, we're on to the Eagles game, though. Eagles-Giants.
What'd you do?
I went Eagles, reluctantly, but I did.
You keep doing that.
Like I said, I want to
Interesting.
be right. I want to be right.
Yeah, I know. I just like hearing you pick the Eagles.
Yeah.
I picked them too, but I think we're both wrong.
I honestly
I,
could see it.
I
I did
couldn't.
think about going Giants. I really
Oh
did.
yeah, I did too. But I couldn't live with myself if I picked the Giants and then the Eagles did win. So I'd rather just lose a point, like if you were to pick the Giants. And honestly, I thought you would.
Yeah.
The Eagles look really bad.
No, they do.
Like
They
the
look
Giants
terrible.
look better than us. They do. They did
Mhm.
last week anyway. And I mean, I don't know.
I definitely could see you dropping this game. But like I
Totally.
said earlier, there's also a little bit of strategy in this as we get deeper into the year. As I
Yeah, I know.
felt pretty confident you were going Eagles.
Yes, right.
So,
And another thing to mention here in this matchup, which did help me pick the Eagles, is this is the return of Saquon to MetLife. So
oh yes,
I feel
have
like
to mention that.
they have to give him the ball 25 times, and if they do that against anybody, the odds of us winning are definitely going to go up. So I like that part of it as well. A heavy
That's fair.
Saquon game, that sounds really good to me.
Keep the ball out of Jalen's hands.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that being said, Jalen played clean football this past
he
week.
did.
And
He did.
as much as he's driven me nuts this year, and believe me, he has, he's been pretty accurate. When it's not an obvious, here you go, gift wrapped basket interception, it's a good throw by him. Like it's literally like he's really good or he's really terrible. It's like no in between right now.
That's
But
fair.
yeah, I'm very happy he didn't turn it over last week. Let's string a few of those together, brother, because
Hmm.
I don't want a freaking 16 interception year for him. Like, slow your
Yeah.
roll. Let's end
I don't
the
want a
year with like
16
8 or
interception year
9.
for him anymore either.
That sounds good.
Like I don't want a 16 interception year for him anymore either. To be honest,
Oh, cool.
I
What do you
want
want,
25.
20? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This guy.
Let's move on
Dude,
to the
if
Raiders
the Lions,
and the Rams.
I just want you to know, if the Lions slip into another, we're not going to be good for 40 years, your life is going to be miserable, buddy.
Oh, I know, and I'm ready for it. But I got to take advantage of these moments.
No, I
Where-
don't blame you. I'm just saying, just wait. The Eagles over the last 20 odd years or whatever, a really good team in probably 16 of those 20 years. Like,
Yeah.
go ahead, poke at me. Poke at me.
A really good
Lions
team.
will
you
have
got.
their moment in the sun, and then bye-bye. Then
Or-
it's Caleb Williams' division.
Here's the deal: all we need is one moment in the sun, and we're just as successful as you. No
That's
matter
true.
how many good teams
Very
you
true.
say you have.
Very
Yeah.
true. Good point. But
Yeah.
that being said, it is really nice to have a team that just has a winning record most years.
Yeah.
I will say, because those years where the Eagles didn't, it sucks, dude. What you know, being a Lions fan or whatever, those 4-win seasons or whatever, you get too many
Yeah.
of those, and it freaking sucks.
0-16 sucked. That was not good.
Well, and that's the thing, we're too diehard. Like, we're watching them. We are watching every painful
Yeah.
second.
No matter how bad they are,
Yeah.
you have to. But anyways, let's go to the Raiders-Rams game. I found this one super easy given the flux that the Raiders is in, losing Devontae Adams, Aiden McConnell at quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, I got
Agreed.
Rams here.
Rams for the exact same reason. Also, they might be getting cut back, which will definitely help.
Ooh. Did not know that. That's good
Yeah.
for them.
And another reason, they're fresh off the bye ski.
This is true.
Yeah.
Got some rest.
Should be an easy one for them.
Yeah. Also, thought the next one was pretty easy. Panthers-Commanders.
Yeah.
We've said enough about the Panthers in past weeks.
Mhm.
Not a good football team. Commanders are looking like a very good football team when
Yes,
Commanders
sir.
here.
And they're home.
Just had to get that one in there.
Yeah, squeak it in there.
Next game, interesting one. Chiefs 49ers.
Ooh.
Which direction did you lean
What did
here,
you
sir?
do, Chuck? I want to know what you did.
I went Chiefs.
Awesome, because I went Niners. This is 2 weeks in a row I'm coming for the Chiefs. It's got to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't
We
get
saw
over
how
it.
that played
'Cause
out
they're
last year.
They're so good. It's so frustrating. Like, they're very
Yeah.
injured right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how am I supposed to bitch about A.J. Brown and Smitty missing if Pacheco and frickin' Rice are out and they're still winning all these games? Like,
Yep.
they're so annoying. But I hope the Niners put a stop to it. They have the defense that could maybe do it. And, I mean, obviously, they're really going to want to beat the Chiefs after last year. And, yeah, I'm hoping they do it. And it's painful, these games. Like, I don't like the Niners at all. And I don't like the Chiefs. And I have to pick one. And they're both evil. Go Niners.
Well, I like that we have a difference there. That's one I'm actually more nervous about the others. I feel good about this one.
Yeah, I'm definitely nervous about this one. The Chiefs just don't lose. I think they're allergic. I don't know.
Probably. Got to be careful. If Patty's allergic, you can't have it happen. Got to keep him healthy.
Yeah, freaking Kermit.
All right, we got 3 more to go, and on to the next one. Interesting one for me here. I'll admit, for Jets Steelers, I did change this pick midday today before our podcast.
Ooh. Let me guess. It switched from Steelers to Jets.
You are correct. I did
Yes.
switch from Steelers to Jets.
Yes.
I heard the news about Russell Wilson possibly stepping in for Justin Fields, and I was like, you know what?
That's exactly what I did. That's so funny. I heard the same thing, and I said, oh, no. I don't even, very well could be Fields going out there, but I am not risking that.
Yep.
That's
I totally
funny.
agree. That's so
and,
funny.
I mean, the Jets getting Adams definitely helps, too.
Yeah.
Again, them losing their coach and everything, too. Like, there's still that rah-rah juice flowing. But, yeah, the main reason was exactly what you said.
Yep.
Frickin' Russell Wilson scared me.
I agree. I was scared. I was like, I can't. I got to go Jets.
Oh, I
Has
was totally going to pick the Steelers. And then I saw that. I was like, nope.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Love that. Then we move on to our 2 Monday night games. First one up, Ravens-Buccaneers. Should be a very good game. I'm excited to watch this game. Buccaneers firing on all cylinders. Baker is playing out of his mind. Ravens starting to put it together over there. Lamar playing great. Andrews getting more involved, and they're looking better on offense because of it.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry is doing Derrick Henry things, which is just be the best back in the league.
Yeah.
And that leads me to say, out of the 2 great teams there, I went Ravens.
Yeah. I went Ravens, too. All the reasons you just said. They're really putting it together finally. And Henry's just insane. I mean, how are you going to stop this guy if you're any team? Like, it's not even a jab at the Bucs there. It's Henry, man. He's too good.
Yep.
But, yeah. And you can't ignore the Lamar against the NFC thing. Like, again, I said it's a really weird stat. But, like, it's crazy. The guy just doesn't lose to the NFC. But, no, you totally can ignore that. That is...
Yeah.
I want to say it's a coincidence so bad, but it's like it's up to like 23-1 or something now. It's like that can't be a coincidence, but it is. I don't know. I think it's just because the Ravens are a really good team, and they almost always are. And
they win a lot of games.
They do. They be winning.
On to the last game of the week. Wrapping up the week, we got Chargers and Cardinals. I went back and forth on this one. Yeah, I went back and forth on this one.
I have a feeling we landed on the same spot.
I don't know. I think we landed on different, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where'd you land?
Cardinals.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
I like that. I did not want to have this game different, to be honest.
I didn't
with
either.
You.
I
that would have been the worst stress out of all of them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad we're the same on that one. And honestly, I think we picked right, which obviously that should be our goal, to pick what we think is
I
right.
hope so. I hope that's
But
what we're trying for. We
yeah.
got money on the line here, baby.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, I didn't understand the rules. That's why you're winning. Oh,
Oh, okay.
we got to scratch it. We'll try again next year.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But yeah, I think it'll
Oh,
be a good game.
I agree.
Cardinals, again, falling into that
Mm-hmm.
record zone where it's like they
Yep.
need a win. And it's a game they could totally win. At home,
Mm-hmm.
and the Chargers just they don't impress me. They really don't. And they're not bad. Like their record's all
Yeah.
right, and they've won games where I picked against them a few times I think this year already. But they still just don't impress me.
That's
They might
fair.
just be the Vikings of the AFC for me. Just not going to pick them. No, that's the Pats. We know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%.
Except
100%.
the Vikings don't deserve this.
That's true. This is true.
They're a good team.
They are. And with that, we wrap up another episode of Palm City Chucks. Another long one. So
Yeah.
if you are still here, thanks for sticking around.
Yeah.
Give us a like, subscribe, leave us a comment, and we will be back at you next week.
Yes, sir. Later, PCC.